Our number 3 play that we like to run from the Chiefs playbook to attack press man coverage is a play called gun you off trips, post will shallow. Now this particular play is really effective. It's almost downright money as far as I'm concerned, because there's one particular route that for the most part that receiver is going to get open, and that's not even if you don't even have a superstar or some player with X factor ratings. You can do it with just about any player. So let's go ahead and get on the field and take a look at this particular play. When running this play against press man coverage, the receiver that we look to throw to is going to be lined up in the slot. As you can see, he runs a wheel route out here towards the left before breaking up the field. Now, a lot of times with the quarterback, as you drop back here, that's the one you're going to look for. Now, what you're looking for with this particular play is to see if he gets some separation from the defender it's covering. In this case, it's going to be this gentleman right there as you look at it. If he gets the separation, that's when you can make the throw. If he doesn't, then you're going to have to look to throw to somebody else. So I'm going to go ahead and run this play, and then I'm going to go into the X's and O's of the play. Then later on in the video breakdown towards the end, I'm going to show you a couple hot routes that you can go ahead and use that will make sure if he is not open, then you have other options to throw to with this particular play. So let's go ahead and run it and we'll see what happens. You can see right there, he gets open, and a lot of times you just catch it, and sometimes you get in the end zone, sometimes you don't, but you can see right there we picked up a big gain. Let's go ahead and hop into the instant replay and take a look at the X and O's of this particular play. The gun you off trips post will shallow is a play that has the switch concept in it. So as you look at it, you're going to have this outside receiver who's going to take this inside release before breaking towards the post. And then you're going to have this receiver, as you look at it, which is the slot and one that we look to throw to, running the wheel route. So there's your switch concept between those two. Now to the inside of those two receivers, you're going to have the tight end who spots up over here. Now this is the left tight end. Now that's your number 1 tight end. He actually lines up in a wing position on the left-hand side from this particular play. And then on the other side of him, you have your tight end 2 who runs basically just a shallow crossing route or a drag route as you look at it. And then of course the running back, he stays in the pass block. So those are your pass routes with this particular play. And as I've already mentioned earlier, one of the things that we're looking for when we run this play is this defender. We got to see what he does. If he goes out there and then he ends up loses sight of the receiver, and once that receiver breaks up, look for him as far as when he breaks up on that wheel route. If that corner stays with him, then you're going to have to look to throw to other options. Let's go ahead and just kind of go through this a little bit here. Let's go ahead and zoom in as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And you can see as I zoom in here, you can see there he is trailing right there. He's trailing behind. Now right there is where we got to watch for. See how he kind of goes as he looks at it. He looks like he's heading down towards this direction as you look at your screen here. He looks like he's going north this way. He's not going to break up as you look at it. So when you see something like that, there's your separation. So again, let's go ahead and zoom back in again and look at this. Right there, as you look at him, zoom back out, you can see right there, that's what I was talking about. If you get that separation, then you know you got it. And that's all you've got to look for when you run this particular play, because that receiver is going to be open where you can make this deep pass down the field. Now, the other thing, as I rewind this, the other thing I want to point out, earlier I mentioned this defender's, as far as what he does, as far as trilling, but I also mentioned this receiver right here. He runs that post route, right? As we talked about earlier. Now, the cool thing about this particular post route, it's going to force, if they're in cover 2 or even cover 1 for that matter, this guy right here, this defender, as you look at it, as I'm going to highlight him right now, even though he's playing 2 deep zone, he's got to respect that receiver running that deep post. So he's going to come back in and try to cover him. If that was cover 1, for example, say this was cover 1. So say that this defender right here was in cover 1, then he would have to play the deep middle. So obviously if he plays the deep middle, then it's going to leave this receiver even more open down that sideline there as he breaks up on the wheel route. So that's what you're really looking for with this. It really doesn't matter, because somebody, regardless if it's cover 1, cover 2, even cover 0, as long as that outside receiver is open, he's going to be open. There's nobody going to be over there to cover him. So as you can see right there, as he breaks towards the post, that defender's now getting laid over to help the other defender out. So he's getting, those two guys can't get over. Corner's trailing. This other defender right here, he's too far back to do anything. He can't get over there fast enough. And there's a nice gap in between those two where we can make this throw and complete it for a big gain. So that's what I wanted to point out with you guys with this particular play as far as what you can do with it. Now, one other thing you can look at with this particular play, let's go back here and focus in on this guy right here. This is that one that was running that post route. I'm going to go ahead and just show you this. See how he breaks towards the post as he's breaking? He could be an option because even though this corner is kind of tight on him, at least initially, and you also got this 𝗬𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀 playing the top, he could split the two safeties because there's the other safeties lined up over here where you can make that deep throw deep down the field. So he's always another option if you're looking to take a deep shot. Now, the other receiver I would tell you to look to throw to with this particular play would be this guy right here. Matter of fact, because this is your tight end too, you might want to flip-flop these guys, do a tight end flip, but he's going to run this shallow crossing route or drag route. He would be your third option to look to throw to just in case that no one else is open. Now, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and go back into the get back on the actual field here and actually run another play with this, but this time I'm going to make a couple hot route adjustments. I want to show a couple hot routes that you can use with this particular play that's going to make it that much more effective. Now, as I've already pointed out, this receiver is the one that we're going to look to throw to, obviously. He's going to get open in most cases, but if he doesn't, maybe your opponent's got something he's doing that's going to take that away. And then, you know, you always got these two guys I've already talked about as far as their default pass routes. They could be options to look to throw to as well. But if you're using the Chiefs and you've got Patrick Mahomes, he's got the hot route master ability, you might as well go ahead and take advantage of that. And rather it be with the receivers, the tight end, or the running back. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and hot route the two tight ends on cross routes. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you look at it, I'm going to go ahead and put the left tight end, which is going to be 𝗪𝐿𝐶. I'm going to go ahead and put him on a crossing route there. And then I'm also going to put Gray as well on a crossing route. So as you look at this, I've got two tight ends now both running crossing routes. And 𝗪𝐿𝐶 is going to take a lot of, your opponent's got to put a lot of attention on him because he's not going to allow him to be open. Matter of fact, he may manually try to cover him. So with that, when you got these two guys running these two crossing routes, that's definitely going to draw some attention, as I've already mentioned, especially 𝗪𝐿𝐶. Plus, you got this guy right here running this wheel route. That's just going to make this play just totally crazy. And finally, one other thing you could do is you could go ahead and maybe put, I don't know, go ahead and put the running back on a flat route out here towards the right. This is going to give you another option as well to throw to. So just in case they blitz, maybe you don't have a whole lot of time, you just dump it off to him. But at any rate, or you can leave him in the pass block if you want. That's really up to you. But at any rate, here's this right here, I feel like it's pretty effective as far as with the hot routes. It's going to add to it, and it's going to make it that much more effective. Now, I'm not going to look to go ahead and throw to Tony in the slot running that wheel route. I'm going to pretend like he's covered. But what I am going to do is look to throw to one of those other receivers that are open. So let's just go ahead and run this and see what happens with it. And most likely, and a lot of us are always going to look to throw to 𝗪𝐿𝐶 because he's going to be open in most cases, so we can pick up some positive yardage. So this particular play, as I've already mentioned, just darn right nasty as far as getting some yardage whenever you need it. Check this one out. I can't imagine down the road, this is probably another play because of these wheel routes. I'm finding a lot of these wheel routes, especially in this particular playbook, are pretty effective. And this play called gun you off trips post wheel shallow is no exception. This is our number 3 play that we like to run as of right now from the Chiefs playbook when attacking press man coverage.